Hello.
We're live.
Hello.
Welcome in, everybody. By everybody, I mean me and Jason currently. It's time.
Not a time of reflection.
Zilfer, Dazzle. What's going on, everybody? Dr. Killinger. T. Schmidt, what's going on?
What's up, nerds?
Wolfen. That one, Bobby. Mo, what's going on?
Oh.
It's Mo. Jason? What are we doing today?
I'm painting.
I knew it.
I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here in whatever space you need me to be, Jason. Zilfer, good lord, I love Jason's paint job on this model so far. It's so punchy in color.
I'm fun with it. It hasn't taken its final form yet because I'm just messing around, but we're getting there.
Okay. Ace, what's going on? Greetings from Germany.
Hello.
That's out there. That's pretty out there.
Not out there.
It's far.
Literally right in the middle of Europe. Right in the middle.
What's up, Commando? Danger Boy, thanks for streaming, Monument Team. Hey, we're here for you.
Thank you for being
Danger
here.
Boy.
I look forward to this. This
You
is
do.
easy. Get to come paint, talk to my friends.
True.
Deal with Chris.
True. All these are facts. All of these are facts.
I don't know why I'm starting on this piece, but probably because I like it a lot.
The middle.
Yeah, this little
The middle guy.
disc thing. I don't even know why it exists. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like an emblem? No, it's just.
I love when you do that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying. I don't know what it's called.
It sounds like the therapy thing when he does that, chat.
It is Therapy Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Does he have a car? Is that how that goes? Does he have a car? Lumberjack, what a twist. Chris, I'm late. Whoa. That's a start.
What do you say?
Lumberjack said, Chris, I'm late. Lumberjack says, I'm always late, but how the turntables have turned. Yes, Wirehead, that's what the little therapist says. Uh-huh. I want to hear more about your mother. Cervix says my expert acrylics are on the way. Nice.
Very cool. You will enjoy them. You will enjoy?
Avian says, anyone have suggestions of when you build a tank, seal it up, and you poke a piece with a brush and it decides to disappear into the depths of the model, you lost
So first off, lighter with the brush.
I mean, you had to be really jamming it, Avian.
Yeah, I need you to not beat your models up that way. First off,
I think, yeah.
A little rough.
It's
if you're banging aggressive. Parts off the model with the brush, that's a little rough. Need you to take a step back and breathe. Remember why we do this.
Lumberjack said, you're watching Daniel Radcliffe on Hot Ones. Huh.
No, you're not. I'm not Daniel Radcliffe. I'm Jason Craze. How are you watching us if you're watching Hot Ones? That's not cool.
Mo says, we haven't heard about Chris's Space Marine mother in a while. How's she doing? Apothecary's doing all right. Hey, you know what? Mo, I appreciate that. She's doing well. She has been put into a dreadnought, and my mother is on a crusade to destroy and conquer. She's doing great.
Not true.
Thank you so much for asking, Mo. I appreciate that. But she's okay. She'll be fine. D.G. Corgi says, this is a question. Okay. What is the main boon for getting expert acrylics instead of using the usual paints?
Well, it's not an instead of question. It's a along with question. When you start with a pure pigment, heavy body style paint, you are going, I say it's like going to the source, right? It's going to the headwaters. You get crystal clear water. It's the best water you'll ever have, right? That's the best pigment you'll ever start with, is in the heavy bodies, because they are not diluted at all, or as undiluted as you can get it and still have it be a usable paint, I guess I should say. People be like, well, technically it's diluted. It has other mediums in it. Well, actually... So they are, and they would be correct, right? It does have medium in there, so it is not just pigment on your brush, but that's what makes paint, so we're going to go with that.
Okay.
And because of that, as you dilute them, you're able to better control the vibrancy versus transparency along that journey than with any other paint. That's just the truth. So for things like glazing, that's why they work so well.
Yeah.
And why as a beginner learning to glaze, they can really help, because they will show you quicker what, your dilution does to color and opacity, things like that. So don't treat them as something instead of, treat them as something alongside of that can help you become better with painting in general, while also just being great paints. Mm-hmm. They perform well. Mix and blend like a dream, like Pro Acryl for. They are the origin of the species for Pro Acryl, basically.
Sir Vic says, how did the gold workup go? How did this gold workup go again? It looks awesome.
This is a base of dark purple on the model, with then a zenithal of turquoise or bright jade. I think it was bright jade.
Yeah.
And then a Payne's Gray wash over all of that. And I'm telling you how the whole model went, because I set the whole model up the same way, and then I'm altering the colors per, material or texture, if you will, as I go. And so the Payne's Gray wash, then over the parts that are becoming the non-metallic gold, I did a magenta wash. Mm-hmm. And over that magenta wash, I did dark hot pink. Not as a wash, but as just a mid-tone. And then over the dark hot pink bits, then we went in with bismuth yellow. And the bismuth yellow is where you see that's where we're starting right now. And then I'm going up with a pale yellow over the top of it to start placing shine on the model. So kind of convoluted, because I really started this one as what I want the model to be, not what I wanted the gold to be. And I'm forcing the gold to fit with what I wanted the model to be, as opposed to going in with any kind of, color assumptions on just the gold.
Odin Kane, thank you so much for that sub. We appreciate it.
Which can be a really fun way to paint if you just say, hey, you know what I'm going to try is I want to see these colors all over the model, and I'm going to underpaint like you see me do. But, we talk about underpainting largely with flesh, where the underpainted colors make a lot of sense because it's like the colors of the fat and tissue underneath the skin, and so people get it. But when you want to choose to underpaint for colors like armor and just the general model stuff, what colors do you use? And so picking something like what you see here, where I've got the jade colors and the blues and the magentas, that can give you a really, really cool look, but isn't as you're not going to reach it as a decision as quick until you've been painting for a while. Because it would be like, because this is, if you look on the color wheel, this is kind of a quadratic use of color, and it works, but thinking of it as an underpaint might not be the first thing that crops to your mind, because then it's like, okay, well, then I'm just putting colors on top of it to get whatever I want the final picture to look like. A little bit of green that we just went in with straight green over the cloth. Building up the golds the way that we are. So just having fun with it. Being able to play is the thing that I love about choosing color. And so a lot of times I don't start a model with any idea of what my final goal is. It's more of I just want to see what I can do with this. I want to see, in this case, we talked about it yesterday, all of these Conquest armies that I'm doing have all got to somehow look a little different, right? Yeah. I can't just stick with the same colors, and they're not, like Space Marines where you know what color the faction's supposed to be. You can choose. And so I'm just going through and saying, okay, well, for this faction, the Sorcerer Kings, I was like, why don't we do some blues and magentas, with a pop of jade, because there is a big elephant, Mumak looking model.
Yeah.
I don't have it. It's in my office. But it's a big elephant, but it is not a elephant creature. It is like a porcelain elephant that they have animated to go to war.
Oh.
So it has a big howdah on it, and there's dudes with bows in the howdah, but it is legitimate. Like the howdah, when you look at the model, is part of the elephant. It's not a thing that sits on it. It molds out of it. So I want to make that whole thing jade, like stone, like the gemstone jade. Ooh. And I want to have it be a big centerpiece jade, with veining and all the stuff, so it looks like polished jade almost.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I need to make sure that all the rest of the colors of the army work with that, because I don't want to just have this big jade thumbprint in the center of the army and then everybody else just be a loose, interpretation. Yeah. So I'm picking these colors because they all go well with jade.
Is that Sorcerer Kings? Right?
Sorcerer Kings.
Nice.
So I've picked colors that go well with jade. And then I'm just using hints of jade on all these things, like the little bit of green over the top of this gives me the little hint of jade on the cloth area here.
Yeah.
And that lets me build up from there. So, have some fun with it.
Mr. Dutch Praetor says, bit of a down question. Are there any concerns for the ability to supply the EU markets in case of trade relations becoming even more unstable? Talked with a mate and he brought it up and got me worried.
Nah. Nope. Not at all. We are doing all the things
that's right
necessary to make sure that that is not an issue for us. If they decide to reciprocal tariff or whatever goes on in this crazy world and say we don't accept goods from the U.S., it won't affect Monument Hobbies EU at all. We are already working on all that. We're ahead of it a little bit. I mean, I guess that if they decided that tomorrow, there might be a little bit of a time frame for us to get our act together because we're not quite there yet. But no, we're opening up a factory in Canada. We're in the middle of doing that right now. And so all of our production for overseas, including Europe, the UK, I guess that's it right now, Europe and the UK, because we'll still handle Australia from here for the time being. But Europe and the UK will be supported from Canada. So like the pigments that were just released, those were all done from the Canada plant and shipped direct to Europe from Canada. So that was kind of the first test for that. And that's why Europe got the pigments at the exact same time. Actually, a couple of days before we got them ready in the US.
Yep.
Because we labeled and got all the Canadian or all of the European ones done first. So it's already working.
We got you. No need to worry.
Yeah, that's why we're doing, and you may not have been paying attention to, we don't talk about it this way in the wider world all the time, but that's why we're doing these remote international offices the way they are, so that we can really give attention in each of these countries that supports us and that has a great customer base.
Yep.
In the way that befits them, as opposed to just saying, oh, well, tariffs suck, tough luck. Because that's kind of what's happening with a lot of the products. Remember, a lot of the products in our industry are made in Europe. And as they come over here, customers are just kind of stuck with paying more for them.
Right.
Companies going out of business and things like that because the products that they've been buying from Asia and Europe over the last decades have now, sometimes doubled in price. We're trying to avoid that. I don't know that we're completely impervious to it. We're a small business. I can't go argue with can't go lobby at the government. We don't have that kind of funding. So I can't go, hey, poor pitiful us.
Yeah.
Like some companies can. I can't be Apple.
Mark says, hi, new to Procryl, ditched my Citadel paints and bought a base set, expansion 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 washes. Loving these tutorials.
Yeah, thank you.
Biggest lesson so far is patience.
100%. Painting is not a get it all in one. Painting is it's an experimentation a lot of times because you're always dealing, even if, I'm going to paint 3 of these models. Here's a good example. I'm going to paint 3 of these guys, okay? Because they come in squads of 3. But each model is different.
Yeah.
So even though I get this one done and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks great. You pull this one over and all the different shapes on here will make it look different. Because the shadows will be different. It's not wearing the same armor. Each one of them is very personalized, right? This guy has these flared shoulders and different headdress and different belly plate. So it will look different. So I consider art to be experimentation, no more so relevant than in painting miniatures, because all of the miniatures are different. I mean, unless you're painting maybe Zombicide where you have 80 of the same guy. And you
lot of zombies
get onto a run. But even then, there still are different models that you got to paint. And so the experimentation is going to take patience in and of itself so that you don't get so samey, get lost in it, get bored with it. If you're like me, I get bored painting the same thing over and over again. So yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It is the biggest thing that we sling around the word patience as if it's easy. Oh, just have better patience. Just take your time. Don't rush. You hear this in all sorts of things in life, and it is a thing you have to practice. I am 55 and still practicing my patience, especially when it comes to painting, right? I have to be okay with, because I paint slow. So I have to be okay with the fact that, oh, you know what? I'm not going to finish this on a timeline. You're not going to find Jason Craze putting out a video on YouTube saying, watch how I painted this Space Marine in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
We may say, hey, I have a neat way for you to quickly get comfortable with painting.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to put it on a timer because that's going to be different for everybody. So patience is different for everybody too, because the person that's setting out to paint something in 60 minutes patience is a different thing for that person than the person that's setting out to paint something in 400 hours for a golden demon. But it is all the same importance. So good on you. If you're already there and you already see it, you're only up from here. Patience in every brushstroke, doing these little bitty details takes patience in a different sense that, the overall completion of the model does. Because I just need to make sure that I don't rush the brushstroke, but I'm still able to move pretty quick across the model. Whereas, finishing a model, it's a different kind of patience.
Scorched Earth said, this may be a dumb question.
Never.
Never dumb question. But what would you say your most versatile yellow is? Like if I could only get one, which would be the easiest to mix other shades and colors?
Bismuth. Bismuth, because it's more opaque, so it handles all of your usage of yellow better. It is a less warm yellow, so you will put a little bit of like orange transparent in it to warm it up, or orange or red or something like that if you want to move it to a warmer color. But it is the most potent of our yellows as far as like coverage, so it mixes well without, it has a very powerful mixing capability, right? It'll be yellow when you mix it.
Yeah.
It's a single pigment, so... which most of our yellows are. So yeah, it works great. But I would say that's what I've been using here. I will go to warm yellow as my most used yellow probably. But bismuth if you could only have one, by far.
Bismuth. Okay. I think that answers your question there.
Definitive statement. Bismuth.
Quablam. Canzella, first time chat. I also just jumped the ship from GW to PA Paints. It's great, but I gotta recondition myself to slow down a bit between layers.
Our paints stay open longer.
Yeah.
So you will need to get used to that, right? We make art paints for models. And art, what I mean by that is that, we put the effort into the formulation so that it works better for all the things you may want to do, like blending, glazing, whatever it is that you decide you want to pick them up for, they work great. But in order to achieve all that, we have what we call a little bit of a longer open time, meaning they take a little bit longer to cure, purposefully, so that they blend a little bit better. You get a little bit more work time out of them. So that also means that you could go back after them layering too quick and shift your paints around. But you got to be moving really fast for that to be an issue. Like really fast. They don't stay open that long. You'll watch me paint and I move along really quickly and don't have problems. Well, I say really quickly. I'm pretty slow, but
yeah, I get it. Get it though.
I'll go right back over the same area pretty quick with confidence. A lot of it is your brush stroke. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
The more brush pressure you have, the more you're going to move the surface underneath. And a lot of people don't equate that. When they're painting, they don't think about the brute force they're applying to the layers underneath. There is a good amount of physics going on when painting, because we're doing small details. In a lot of cases, we're putting more paint over very little paint. And you just have to be careful with that to make sure you're not pressing too hard. If you watch closely, you'll see that, especially when doing details like this, my brush barely bends when I'm doing this, so that I can make sure I have really good control, that I'm not getting too thick of a line, all that kind of stuff. So we talk about that in terms of, the generic term brush control plays a huge part in the outcome of your paint and how well layer to layer works and things like that. So always be looking at that too.
Jesse Who says, I've been tempted to use my PA paints to do some canvas painting as well.
Sure.
Maybe not as cheap as going to the artist acrylics, but also mean I don't need to buy even more acrylic paints.
Yeah, I would say that if you're doing, if you're doing very large canvases, you're much better off going and buying some cheap acrylics. Just because you'll use so much.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that do canvas work and bring our paints in for the details. And do your main large cover. Think of it as painting terrain.
Yeah.
If you paint terrain for war games, I would never suggest using your whatever your priciest paint is. I would go buy apple barrel from Michael's or Hobby Lobby for coverage, and just go slop a lot of cheap paint on for the base coats. And then when you get to the details or airbrushing, then start switching to your better paints where you're not going to use a whole bottle for a thing. Much better on the pocketbook, much better for your sanity, right? If you're doing big tables of terrain, we would go to Home Depot and have them color match, like our black, brown, and dark umber, and use those. And you can even dry brush with a big household brush.
Yeah.
those big terrain boards if you're doing like 4x6 terrain and things for gaming tables.
Jason,
I don't want to hear it.
I have something to say.
I don't want to hear it. I have a feeling I don't want to hear it. I don't know why, but my gut just said, when he said that, chat, my immediate response was, I don't want to hear it.
Jason, we got something in the mail.
What did we get in the mail?
Me and you.
What did we get? Me and you?
Well,
I don't think it was you.
It was addressed to Christmas Sushi.
Uh-oh.
So
that's bad. Is it a letter? Butt pic?
No, it was a letter.
From?
With a self-addressed envelope stamped.
That's all you, man. I don't have anything to do with that.
So
that's why I said I don't want to hear it.
We got that in the mail today.
That's awesome.
So,
that's all you.
We'll have to take a Polaroid of me and you, Jason.
No, it's of you. This has nothing to do with me.
Sending a butt.
This is nothing to do with me. You started this.
You're gonna get Jason and I's butt.
This is not. I love how he pulls me into this after.
Come on, Jason. Nope. You know you want to do it.
Nope. This is all you, brother.
I will not say the name out loud.
We know his mom.
For legal purposes, I will not be sending you that. But, maybe we'll send you a little something.
I don't know why there's a legal reason you can't do that. There are lots of people who send much worse in the mail. Welcome to Chris's OnlyFans.
It's a slow version of it. You know who you are out there who sent the self-addressed mail. Ogre says, can you tell me the workup for the skin on this model?
Currently, it's really basic. It's just the same base that I've done for everything else, which was the dark purple primer, the bright jade over the top of that zenithal, the Payne's gray wash, and then over the top of that, I just went in with it's royal purple undertone, by the way, not dark purple. I've been saying dark purple, but it's royal purple, bright jade, Payne's gray wash over the top of all that, and this is just ultramarine blue. It's just one glaze of ultramarine blue over the high points of the muscles, and I've done nothing else. I'll be highlighting it more, but I'm doing the gold to see how bright the gold gets, and then judge the blue by the brightness of the gold when I get the gold where I want it, right? So we talk about that a lot. Try not to finish any one area of the model until you have every area done to the point that it looks, that can be judged off of that completion point. And so a lot of times I will move to completing the part of the model that has the brightest value on it first. And then work backwards from there. So obviously anything I do that is non-metallic metal or metallics, I will typically start there because they'll have the most shine, the most bright reflections. Mm-hmm. Again, whether I'm painting non-metallic or metallic is irrelevant. They will put the brightest spots on the model in general, unless you have something on a model that you know is going to be bright white as well. Then you might have to, paint some of that.
Joel B, first time chat. Hey, Joel, what's going on? Afternoon, gents. I've got a palette question for you.
Sure.
I've always used a wet palette, but since switching to Pro Acryl for those other, in quotes, guys, I've noticed that the paint thins out quickly. Should I use a dry palette, or do I have too much water in my wet palette?
Too much water. 100% too much water. There's nothing wrong with using our paints on a wet palette, but you will need to run the palette the way, honestly, and this is the thing that people fight me on, a wet palette is not meant to be wet on top. It's a misnomer. It's meant to be wet under the palette paper, not on top of it. If it's wet on the palette paper, you're continually diluting your paint. Now, if you were doing watercolor on it, maybe that helps. So I can't argue that. But in normal conditions for acrylics, you should be not having any wetness on the top of the paper. I set mine up when I use one by wetting the palette paper and then squeegeeing it near dry. Like I saturate it, load the palette paper up with water. Now they crinkle like, baker's paper, so it's not super soft like a rag.
Yeah.
But I still wad it up and squeeze all the water off of it. Use a ruler to get all the water off of the top if I have to. is one way that I do it. And then put that dry piece back onto the palette and weight the corners down here in Arizona because they dry so fast and they curl up. Depending on where you're at. If you have a lot of moisture and humidity, then you don't have that problem. But here in Arizona, they're a pain in the butt because they tend to edge curl super fast. I'm liking that.
Should you be wetting the paper too?
I wet it with warm water. Like I put the paper under warm water until it's saturated. You need to make sure that you're opening up the pores of the paper because the water can't transmit through it if not. So you put enough paper on it front and back, right? Because like I said, it's not soft. So it doesn't load up like a sponge. You can't really tell, but you still need to wet both sides of the paper. Yeah. Then I take it on the side of the sink with a flat thing, I use my ruler. I have a wooden ruler. I take that and I put the ruler on, I squeegee the water off, dragging it out of the sink that way so it squeegees the water off of both sides. And then I put that on top of the wet sponge. And there's water loaded up around the sponge in the palette. I put the paper down, but the water goes up to about half the height of the sponge. Then it's wet sponge, and then it's dry paper, dry. It's been wet, and now it's just slightly damp. And then I put paint on that. It works like a champ all the time. You won't find any pigment separation, nothing. But if you add water, like if it starts to dry out and you add water by squirting water on top of the paper, like I see so many people do that just ruins it. That's just, number one, I don't know why people do it because it's consistently diluting your paint. Now, yes, other hobby paints are thicker, so they need to be diluted to just use them, but they still are diluting their and getting more transparent. You're diluting their opacity as well as making them usable. And I don't know that I always want to be, sometimes I want my paint to be purely opaque. And so I always like a dry palette because I go back to the purest form of the paint, right? When I put it on the dry palette, it doesn't change. It's exactly the way it was out of the bottle until it's dried or gone. And so every time I go back to it, I can pull a little bit off and thin it how I need to glaze with it or use it how I want to, but I can always go back and get the paint. So when using a wet palette, I think the same way. I always want that droplet to be exactly the way it came out of the bottle. Well, it can't be if the paper's wet, right? Water still goes through the paper, right? And being that the paper is dry, it actually transfers through the paper better to refill the droplet. When the whole paper is wet, it's not even doing its job because water doesn't go through wet paper. It's just saturated. It doesn't move at all. It just sits there. And that's where the big problem comes from. It's not a good mechanical thing. And I always go back to, if you subtract our hobby from it, there's nobody that makes wet palettes in the world. There's one company that makes wet palettes. And I am a guy that says that pretty much proves the point, that the art world never got behind them. Our industry is the only industry that's ever gotten behind them. And they work great for when you're doing mixes, right? For very specific things, when I'm mixing colors, they work fantastic. For people who do gouache and lots of watercolor, they can be great too. If you're using like watercolor out of a tube, they can be fantastic. Because those watercolors can get really messy in those little tubs like you use, right? You use one of those little watercolor mixing tubs.
Yeah.
And watercolors in those can get really messy and cross-contaminate and things like that. On the wet palette, if you're using it, then you can have a lot of fun with it with watercolor. But I'm not a fan with them for acrylic. But our paints work on them. You just have to run them drier.
So Avian says, okay, here's a question. To pull back way back from old times, cleaning up the hobby closet of an infinite potential and found Forge World resin models, figured why not build and paint. Suggestions on how to deal with old mold release agents still on resin before priming. Oh, wow.
Hot water. Just run them under some hot water. That's what I would have done with them when they're new, and it doesn't change when they're old. Never use soap on a model. Don't do it. Just warm water. Rinse them. Scrub. You can get like an old toothbrush if you need to scrub, if you feel like they've been, if they've been in a dusty environment. Sometimes the dust plus humidity and all that stuff gets to where they feel like gummy, like almost sticky. And so you might need to do something there. But other than that, nothing. Nothing. Don't use soap on models. Not metal models, not resin models, not plastic models. Don't ever use soap. Unless you're actively trying to like strip the model or something. If it's painted. If it's clean, then just use warm water. All that stuff comes off. Mold release, whatever.
Mold release.
Yeah, talcum powder, whatever the hell they use, baby powder or whatever.
Baby powder?
In some molds, you get like this powdery substance on there.
Little Billy says, I like making my own wizard's butt when I have 2 or more paints running low. Oh.
Yep.
I see. Old Gamer says, hello, hobby friends.
Hello!
First time I'm painting a bust. Ooh, but I'm struggling to avoid brush strokes for the skin. I use shadow flesh, tan flesh, and peach flesh. What tips do you have for me? For me, also, it looks a bit shockly. What am I doing? What am I doing from? Is there a color combo? Question mark. So tips on painting bust skin.
So something isn't transferring when doing large scale for the way you're used to painting is what's happening, right? So something in the way you're thinning and applying your paints. When you see brush strokes, it usually means that my brain goes to your paint's too thick. So you're not thinning it enough. Chalkiness is over thinning. So there's a little bit of a problem. Now, I never know subjectively what people mean when they say our paints are turning chalky, because we have lots of people that will send us a customer service message, and chalky to them is what matte paint looks like.
Yeah.
Right. Matte paint will dry with a finish that is rough, has a little bit of micro texture, and you can see it with the eye. Right.
Yeah.
So if that is the chalkiness, then that's just what matte paints will do. If you don't want that, then you can put a little bit of a satin varnish over it. Mix some gloss varnish in with a paint, or mix some gloss varnish with matte varnish and put that over the top. And you can get rid of what looks to be chalky, because sometimes you're just talking about the natural finish of matte paint, right?
Yeah.
If it's chalky because you've over thinned it, because you can do that, and really what that means is that the pigment is swimming on the model because there's too much moisture, and it tends to clump up in areas, and then when you stop, it looks like a cloudy mess. Like it might actually even have texture in some areas, because the pigment doesn't go smooth, it floats. If there's too much water, the pigment and the emulsion that is the paint will slide around to particular areas where the water gets thin, usually the edges. It's where you get coffee staining from. And then you'll get weird deposits of pigment. That can make things look chalky. Typically, it's just the people looking at the way matte paint looks and saying, oh, it's got chalkiness to it. And that will be, no more apparent than on large surfaces with the same color. But yeah, so I think that getting to the bottom of it is more of a, how do you feel like you're applying the paint? Is it going on? I would say if you're seeing brush strokes, you're not using an airbrush. So on busts, going a little bit more thin and doing more layers sounds like the biggest thing you could be doing. So if you thin your paint just a little bit more, not too much, you don't want to go to where you have to put 15 layers on it, unless that's where you're really finding, your painting to be very comfortable. Then thin it and do a layer, let that layer cure, meaning, give it enough time to where it's dry to the touch before putting more paint over it, because putting wet paint over wet paint will cause brush strokes too. If you don't let the bottom layer, and you're layering up very quickly, you layer up and get it all covered, and then you go back and start where you finished, and that paint's not fully cured, and so you start putting wet paint over it, it can kind of move and shift the bottom layer a little bit, which can cause texture with your brush stroke too. So there's a lot at play here, but it sounds like I said, that's why I go, I think the text, if you're used to painting smaller scale models like what I'm painting, and then you're moving to a bust and seeing things you don't see on your smaller scale models, it's a disconnect in the technique from the small model to the large model that you're taking with you. Maybe it's too many short brush strokes and you need to be doing larger brush strokes over the bigger area. But it really comes down to, in most cases, thinner paint, so that you can get a smoother application over a large area and then more layers. Right? Because on a small model, the same amount of paint on this brush will put more paint in this little ellipse of his shoulder than if this model were 5 times bigger.
Yeah.
Right? The same amount of paint on my brush, unless I go to a bigger brush, is going to put less paint around, right? And if I'm still trying to cover the same area, it can cause me problems. So you have to adjust your mindset on how the paint is applied so that you can really get it to look similar in result to what you're used to, it sounds like. I hope that is coming across. Right?
Yeah. No, somebody was also, Reap was saying, wow, this is great, guys. I'm having the same issue with painting skin, so I'm glad the question was asked.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, is never hold back on a question. We get some people that are like, I'm always afraid to ask because I feel like I'm a noob. And I'm like, no, your question, I guarantee there will be more people in chat who are also afraid to ask the same question who will get help out of it.
I ask very similar questions when I'm asking, so. Pickman says, I have some old 80s pewter models. Is there preferred method for priming them to retard lead rot?
Lead rot?
What is lead rot?
What is lead rot?
Is it like rust?
Are you afraid of the lead handling it yourself?
Yeah,
I don't know what lead rot is.
Oh, gamer, absolutely.
Depending on how old your models are, I don't know that you're
80s?
dealing with lead models. They've been white metal forever. I mean, lead has been gone for a long time.
Pickman said 80s models.
Yeah, maybe. Are they bendable? Because the lead models will be really bendable.
Psyker says lead rot is a often irreversible chemical corrosion affected older high lead content miniatures, causing them to turn into a white, powdery, or pitted substance. Interesting.
Have not come across that.
Lead rot.
I have seen old models that are like powdery. So maybe that's what I'm seeing and just not familiar with the term.
Powdery.
We've got some really old models that a lady whose husband had passed away came up and gave us at, might have been New York Comic Con.
Those were, yes.
I don't know if it was New York Comic Con or WonderCon, but either way, we had this amazing lady come up and tell us a story about how her husband had always, painted models and miniatures and loved it, and she remembered it, and she never got into it, but when he passed away, she found all these old models, and she saw us one day. It was at WonderCon in California, I think. She saw us one day painting and then went home overnight and got all those models and brought them back to us and dumped them on the table and said, these are yours now. And we have a bunch. And as a matter of fact, now as we're talking about this, they're down here, aren't they, someplace? Yeah, some of them are.
Did you paint one?
No. I pulled them out to paint.
Oh.
But then I think we put them back in there.
Oh, in the tin.
They were in this coffee tin. Which is coffee tin brought back memories because this is what my dad drank. Cafe Vienna, General Foods International coffees when I was growing up.
The instant beverage.
Right. So these are, like when I see old models, it's like these guys. Right?
Oh, wow.
It's these old Grenadier and Ral Partha freaking fantasy. These are all the D&D, the first D&D models, right?
Oh, wow.
Warrior with axe and shield.
Look at that guy.
Right.
That's fun.
What
is? Oh, it's like a princess queen or something, like a fair. What the heck is she holding? Nice. What is that?
No, she's like got some sort of a. It's a wizard of some sort with some sort of a. What would you call it? A fetish, using it to cast.
Yes.
Another magician.
The bard.
A magician. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in here, right?
Kind of good.
But like this guy, I had this guy growing up.
Look at that guy.
It's a warrior with axe, right? So these I've known over time, but I think all of these have got some paint on them. Yeah, see, all these have paint on them, the glossy old enamels. So these aren't probably. Oh no, there's a couple of them in here that are not. Right. So these are ancient, dude.
That's ancient. Looks
so
like
these are Ral Partha 1976.
Dude, that looks like
so these
hieroglyph.
Those are definitely lead.
No, Jason, no.
I'm a lead aficionado.
Are you I'm sorry. No. Legal purposes. Don't eat the models. Don't eat the paint.
The models. But look at that guy. This is when I was a kid. Like I had these when they were new. Not these, but these are the ones that I painted first. That's why these are so great, right? Like
that's an OG barbarian.
That's
dude.
Female barbarian, right? That's another Ral Partha, right? Look at that. They scratched these things. Ral Partha, 1977. Right? These are amazing, right? These are great. There's a whole thing of them in there. She just came and plopped them down in front of them and said, "These are yours now." That's what she said. She didn't introduce herself the day before. She just saw us doing it, and then she came back and she goes, "These are yours now." And there were a couple of them. There were a couple of them that were still in the Julie Guthrie's Fantasy Personalities from Grenadier Models. And here is Fantasy Adventure Figures.
Fantasy Adventure.
Elf Sorceress.
Pickman says these are 80s original Dark Crystal. Oh, Dark Crystal models from Grenadier. Okay.
Yeah, this is Grenadier Elf Sorceress.
Nice.
Right?
You have to be 10 years old to have that, Jason.
$1.25.
$1.25.
That was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks worth of my allowance to buy a $1.25 model. To give you guys an idea of what we suffered through in the old days.
Oh, here we go.
You got that little no detailed model, and we're thrilled about it for 3 weeks worth of you're taking out the trash.
Now we have things like a Lord of Change and
now it's Mom. I want the $150 one.
I don't have enough bits.
All right. All right, you heathens. But yeah, I mean, I prime every model. I don't know that you prime to cover up the lead problem that you're talking about. I prime because that's what paint needs to stick. But
that's what makes us rugged. The lead.
I prime because I wasn't born in a barn.
That's right. We got to paint one of those models at some point, Jason.
You know, I look at them and I'm like, it doesn't really make me excited, but the idea of having one painted nicely, because I never went back and painted any of those after I really learned how to paint.
You did the Old Hammer last year. You did that Inquisitor.
Yeah, we did that Inquisitor guy. And we have a couple more of those Terminators. So that's kind of cool.
Super Duper John says, can we get a Monument After Dark D&D edition at Adepticon? Super Duper John.
Wait, what?
I don't think that can happen.
Like to do, like play D&D?
Yeah.
No.
It's too much going on, Super Duper. Maybe here at some point. Not at Adepticon.
We have an amazing, Kenny loves to Dungeon Master.
Kenny, yeah.
And so he would do a one-shot for everybody, and I think would be really thrilled about it. So, we could do something around here. I guess we could figure out how to stream something like that. I think it'd be fun. I think we could probably get Jen to partake.
You could put it around
if we set it up right. Jen has done a one-shot with, oh gosh, what was that guy's name? He was a fairly famous DM Scotty. And he was fairly well known, and he did a one shot that was kind of a alien zombie horror Area 51 one shot when we were up in Utah one year at Wargamer Girls thing.
Yeah, Valhalla
in the fall, and Jen sat in on it, and she was like, "What am I supposed to do?" I was like, "Pretend like you're in this scenario. It's basically acting."
Acting.
It's like acting. So just act like you're this person. And he wrote up he had these background cards and things like that. So he did it really well. The background cards that tell you, here is your role. What is it called?
Motivation.
What's my motivation?
What's my motivation? Justin PK says, I was happy with the way I was able to apply the weathering pigments using a dry brush as Jason demonstrated. I normally varnish with a paintbrush, but worry it will smear. Do I need to airbrush to varnish dry pigment? To seal it in, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's much better to airbrush or even rattle can, your final varnish on.
Awkwardish says, this looks great, Jason.
Why, thank you.
Somebody was asking earlier. Mark McCruffin says, "Want to know what's refreshing? The fact that you have not shoved the brush in your mouth once, that I've seen anyway."
We don't do that here.
We don't promote these things.
We don't do that.
We're sophisticated people.
We are not born in a barn. We do not. I'm offending everybody that licks their brush, and
Jason.
I don't even care. I don't even care.
Jason, you care.
Don't eat the paint. Paint is not for eating. It's for putting on your models.
Poop Tempest question about brush technique. I noticed that Jason's brush tip is barely moving during brush strokes. Is that due to the properties of the brush, or is he just barely touching the model?
It's barely touching the model. Yeah, we
I would
talk
say
about
it's
it a
brush
lot.
control.
The weight of your brush stroke is everything. Chris just put up a video that part of it kind of delves into this, where I talk about the fact that also the approach angle of your brush. So a lot of people paint like they would use a pen or pencil. Yeah. It's like drawing on paper, because that's what a lot of people's background and understanding of art is. If you took an art class, you're always treating it like something on paper. Yeah. But when painting, your brush doesn't want to be perpendicular to the surface, like this. Yeah. You don't want to paint this way unless you're doing very fine details. And when you're perpendicular to the surface, you want to make sure it's very light brush pressure. You're very, very little paint out. You're doing very fine details, maybe poking an eye, to get an iris done or something like that. What you want to do for your painting is keep your brush like this, to where it's about a 35 to 45 degree angle max. That would be about 45 right there, right? And you don't want to go above that generally. You want to keep it 45 or lower. And I typically paint like this, whatever that is, 20 degrees maybe. And my brush strokes are very light in order to do that. So I can still get fine lines, but I can press to get a little bit thicker. But at the same time, I don't bend the brush too much to do so. The more you go vertical, the more you have to bend the brush to get paint to even come off of it. And that's why you get tip curl and you deflect the tip of your brush. So I don't necessarily think in terms of longevity of the brush, but it is a byproduct of painting what I would call correctly like this, where you keep a shallower angle to the approach, because then I can do thick lines, but see how the brush still doesn't bend very much. Yeah. As opposed to up here, to get that same thick line, I got to bend it like that.
Brush pressure is super important.
100%.
Your non-metallic metal lesson really was a light bulb of like, I think I am just pressing too much.
It's a great one, because you're at one point in time in non-metallic metal, you're having to go to super high contrast. And when you go to super high contrast with a very bright paint over a darker paint, you see every mistake. It will be it's one of the biggest tactical issues that causes people problems with non-metallic metal, is when they make the jump to the shine color, like right now with the pale yellow, or if you go to white or whatever you're using, that because the contrast is there, you will see every brush stroke amplified, versus if you're just blending from dark to light or light to dark. As you blend and go color to color, you see less, because each color you apply is so close to the last color if you're doing that blended method or layering that way, that you don't ever really see the mistake. And then when you get to very bright color over dark color, you see everything, every brush stroke, all the texture, all the thick to thin problems and all of that. And that's where it really starts to kick in, like, oh, I should probably not press as hard, because I'm getting too much material on the model. I'm not getting the line control I want. So yeah, when you watch me paint, like to come in here and do this, right? First of all, I got to make sure I don't have too much paint on the brush, which is why you see me put paint on my thumb all the time to check the line width. And then I'll come over here, get my point correct, and then just kind of make a couple of phantom strokes here before I see the paint on the model, and then just go in closer and closer until I start to see it, and then boom, drop that line.
Yeah.
Right? That way I can control it. But you'll see me do that if you pay attention. You'll see that I kind of get in there and do a couple of little phantom strokes first, then I press a little harder, get the paint on where I want it, and now I know what amount of brush pressure puts paint on the model, right, and I can either press harder or let up as needed to get very fine details in. But it is that really, and like in here, I just want to kind of go in and do a little bitty poke, and I'll poke until I actually get color. Maybe it's 2 or 3 times like that. And then when I start to get color, I know that, okay, I can poke a little harder to get just a little poke of color. I'm constantly doing that to set up my edges, and then I'll fill back to the edge. So yeah, very, very, this is where, again, like somebody mentioned earlier, patience, right? You have to get in there, get the brush rotated correctly to get the point the way you want it, and then get in there and layer that in. Sometimes you get lucky and get on the first try, but don't worry if you don't. But if you learn how to not just pound the brush in and go, then you'll get a much more detail-oriented area of control.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see immediately how the way your hand is moving is applying paint. I'm always looking at it and saying, okay, what is this doing? That's not putting out enough paint, so press a little bit harder, press a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
Until I get it in there exactly the way I want.
Nice.
And that's the same for everything. Like I'll come in here when I want to do this glaze back into this area, and again, just kind of do some thin phantom brush strokes until I start seeing paint on there like that, and then just barely pressing, getting a little bit of color, then come back and do it again and a little bit more color, then maybe a third one here real quick to build up. So I'm thickening that line with these horizontal brush strokes, that starts adding in just a little bit more brightness along the surface. And, you know, when you're glazing, you're always paying attention to what the paint is doing. That's what I say, that there's a big amount of feel in painting, and feel is unteachable. In the sense of, like, I can't have you sit here and do a practice session with me and walk out feeling like I got it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can, because I can talk to you about what you're doing, like we did when you were painting. I can kind of coach you on, hey, try this. Hey, try this. There is no do this.
Right.
Because the feel comes from you watching your hand apply the paint and then adjusting to the way it feels when you apply the paint, right? I touch the brush to the model. I see this happen. Your brain has to then go into the mode of, why did that happen?
Yeah.
I was doing this when that happened. If I let up a little bit of pressure, what happens? And you're comparing constantly every brush stroke to the last and adjusting the pressure you're applying, the angle, the twist of the brush, the angle of the model. All of these things are happening. It is a very complex thing that occurs when we put especially when doing details. But your brain is like, it's just like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Riding a bike is complex, but no, it's not. You just jump on it and push the pedals.
Right.
But when I try to teach you how to ride a bike, the feel is not teachable.
Yeah.
Because the feel of riding a bike is personal. So everybody is very subjective on what feel means. And because I could put 10 people on a bike and tell them all the same thing and go through the same process, and they would all learn totally differently, because they're all getting the feel and the balance and the direction and the weight of how do they want to move their hands and shoulders when they do their feet, you know, and all that stuff. So it's the same here. But that's where you hear people talk about the feel. You know, I liken it to working with metal, because I've worked with metal for a large portion of my life. And when you work with metal under heat and stress and hammering, you'll start to see how metal moves. And that feel for how metal moves will direct how you interact with it as you're working the piece, right? And every piece is different. You can work with cold rolled steel for your whole life, and you'll still find new things happening all the time with every new piece of metal you get, because the shape will be different. The thickness might be a little different. The amount of heat you're applying might be different. Same thing here. Every model's different because the shape is a little different. My brush stroke's a little different. The brush I'm using is different, you know, model to model. The paints I'm using might be different, so on and so forth. So it's that feel that really gets you to the point where you find confidence, is when you start to equate your ability to recognize what's happening as you apply paint and adjust accordingly to get the result you desire. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know that you'll be confident enough to say, okay, I've never done this before, but I know how to pay attention to my brushstroke, and I know I'll be able to alter my brushstroke to get what I want to happen.
Ooh, Jason, this is a good one. You ready for this one?
Sure.
Roger Smith says, how do I get my wife to try mini painting? And you know what? I know I bet you meant to be a silly question, but that's a very serious question.
No.
Like, how do you get your special someone to paint?
I was very lucky because Jen, it was content on the stream, and I lured her by saying it would make for good content.
Oh.
And she was like, okay. And
no.
she really likes painting.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was a trooper, and she jumped in and did it, and it was great. But I think that the first thing that popped in my mind, let's go with what popped in my head. As soon as Chris was reading out the question, I said, make it inviting. What does your wife find enjoyable in life? Like, does she like great dinners? Then say, hey, let's cook dinner and paint a model. We'll cook a good meal and have a good dessert, and we'll paint models while we eat dinner and make it part of something she loves. Does she love to go to the park and picnic? Then take some models and set up a painting station out at the park and picnic and do it, even though it's not the best environment to do it. Who cares? Introduce them into an environment that they're comfortable with already. What do they enjoy? Can you make it enjoyable? Put on some good music that they love. Like, hey, let's watch that. Let's have that movie on in the background that we love, and sit down, and I want you to just throw some paint on this model and have it be fun. That's the first thing that popped into my mind, is make it a thing that's fun for both of you to be involved in, regardless of the outcome. Because if you say, hey, let's go paint models, well, then the models are the only outcome.
Oh, yeah.
You need to remove in my opinion, you need to remove the model from the outcome. Make the event the outcome. We're going to enjoy and have Lord of the Rings on in the background and paint models and have fun, play a game and do this. It's going to be a game night. We're going to do all these things. And one of those things is going to be paint a model because then it's just buried in amongst the other things, right?
Yeah.
It's hidden.
Yeah.
It's the juicy center of the thing they like, right?
Sure.
It's the box of chocolates. They don't know what they're going to get. They might love it or hate it,
Yeah.
but they like chocolate, so they reached into the box and got it. So make the whole thing that painting is involved in the box of chocolates.
Yeah. And then who knows? They might end up really liking it.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know, Jason.
You never know.
That's the moral of that story.
You just never
Roger,
know.
that's a great question, by the way.
Yeah, that was a great question. And if all else fails, you can do the "Don't you love me?" I give you permission.
But don't you
I give you
love me?
permission to do the "Don't you love me?" I'm just trying to find things to do with you because I love you.
And Brent said, my wife said, no.
Well,
Well, there you go.
you tell your wife.
To get painting. What are you gonna do? Nothing.
You get
That's
you get Mrs. Brent over here right now.
Mrs. Brent. Ah,
Hello,
hey.
Mrs. Brent. I've got a bone to pick with you. Painting is the most relevant thing you will ever do in your life. And then they'll go, "What about my children?" And I'll be like, "Oh,
Well, I guess so.
maybe more relevant even than your children. Your children will leave you, painting won't."
Wow.
I have to take the glasses off.
That's kind of real.
It's Therapy Thursday.
Leave and cleave.
Let's bring it back into
You're
the
right.
room.
Thank you, Mr. Therapy. Your children will leave, but pro
Charity
acrylic
thinks
is
we're in
forever.
cahoots.
Pro acryl. Your kids will leave, but pro acryl is forever.
Dude, that needs to be a commercial.
I like that. Your kids will leave you.
Your kids will leave, but Procryl will stay with it forever. Such good stuff. Only positive cells here at Monument. Empty nesters?
I can already.
We're
think of
sorry your
such a
children
sad-
left you. Procryl
an
won't.
Actual sad commercial though. Like, I don't know, if somebody's going off to college or
Yeah.
goes off to the military or just like some big trip.
Yeah, it needs like stock footage of families saying goodbye to their kid
Yeah.
at college or something like that. And then they go home and they have fun with Procryl.
and then they just go paint.
And they just say, "Procryl, I know you'd never leave."
Your kids will leave you.
It's all like happy. It's like the drug commercials where everybody's smiling and then it tells you you're going to pee out your butt.
Side effects may include death, more death, cancer of some kind,
And death.
and loss of vision, and dying at the same time.
Do you care about the loss of vision if you're already dead?
Take these pills now.
I love how they've got us all trained to go ask your doctor about roadkill.
My doctor said, get away. My doctor says, what the heck are you talking about? Don't take the gas station pills. You should just video us going to work daily, says Double T. Oh, man. How much do you need to get the rights to use the lonely man in this ad? Many dollars. Many a dollar. Wirehead says, how about the kid leaving and dad going home to turn the now empty bedroom into his new paint room?
That's so good,
That's
right?
hilarious. Goodbye, little Timmy.
We'll miss you, son.
And then it's just like, yes, new hobby room.
And then you got to have the son come back from college and find dad at the desk.
Oopsie.
Dad, what did you do to my room? I made it the place of joy.
The moral of the story is Pro Acryl's here to stay.
The moral of the story is hang out with us more.
That's right.
We're more fun than your kids.
Jason's forever because we're going to cut off his head and put him in a dreadnought.
That's very disturbing to me sometimes.
Yes, sir. Only factual truth here. Jason, we're going to keep you alive.
You've told me this a lot.
How about that?
I have said I have no problem with this so long as I get a good loadout on my weapons.
This is the 5 o'clock news at 10. Jason, how do you feel about living forever in a robot suit?
I'm okay. I said I just have to have the correct weapon loadout. I need to be made for carnage.
If I'm going to go out, I'm going out with a bang. And if I'm coming back, it's going to be even bigger bang.
Carnage.
Jason running for president as a head in the jar against Nixon in 3002.
Yes, that's it.
Oh. Jason, can we get a mini made of your head in a big, like, Frankenstein-style jar?
We have a mini of my head.
I know, but I want it in a jar.
Well, we can make it in a jar.
Let's do that.
But it would only be like that big.
That'd be funny.
It would be funny.
Put it on a Space Marine head.
I'm all for this.
The headless body of Chris as his vice president. I'll be holding the head. That's the idea.
Well, I'll be in a dreadnought body.
That's true.
Because I'm not doing this. I only agreed to this. It's in the contract.
Xenobond says, you mean a snow globe? No, it's a lot cooler than that, Xenobond. Come on now. It's an alien-type, futuristic fun jar.
Fun jar. That scares me now. The hell
Yes.
is a fun jar?
Jason is in the fun jar, and he's loving it. There's only one beagle for this jar, and it's a really big one. If you know what that's from, you get a sushi point.
Just one?
Just one. They're hard to come by
Is
nowadays.
like Bitcoin? Is there a mining device I
get
can go get that
one?
mines sushi coin?
It's one sushi point, and no.
Oh. There's no sushi coin.
There's no sushi coin.
We should launch one.
We tried.
We did?
We bankrupted the economy. Can you do that?
Chris, that was that NFT thing with like the monkey heads that you tried to do.
Come on now. We tried. We learned. Monument Hobbies does NFTs. What would be our NFT? Sushi points. A real sushi point. That's our NFT. Spark, what's going on? Wirehead says, I'm seeing a dreadnought with one of those floating servitor skulls, but it's Chris.
Ooh, a cherub.
Oh, no. What are the skulls that like go around and scan things?
Well, yeah.
The cherubs are the baby flying things. I'm
Yes.
not a fan of those. But there's these skulls that fly around.
Yes.
I only know about this because I just recently tried Space Marine 2 for the first time. And there was a little skull that was servo skulls.
Servo skulls.
They're called servo skulls. Jason, I would like us to produce a model where you're in a dreadnought and I'm a servo skull.
But if you're just a skull, how do we know it's even you? They could just tell us it's you. Oh, no, this is Chris.
No, that's the joke. That's Chris right there. We can figure it out. We'll give me like a... I don't know. It's a great... We'll put my glasses on it.
Okay.
Then they'll know.
I was going to say, we won't even know.
Wirehead beard and glasses, give it away. There you go. Then
It'll just be the way it talks.
Then I can be internal with Jason. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it'll just be the way that it talks. We'll know it's Chris because...
Scanning for emotional connection with Jason.
None.
Beep, 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 beep. Not
None.
available.
Sorry. No soul available.
Oh, shucks. That's my catchphrase as a servo skull. Oh, shucks.
Shucks.
What a bummer. Inquisitor? I hardly know her. I don't even know if that makes sense. But I said it. Welcome in, everybody. We're painting up some Sorcerer King's Conquest. You like that segue? Quablam. Jason's painting up some non-metallic gold if you've been living under a rock. Because I'm sure it's really nice under that rock. Probably cozy and warm and...
Have you ever lived under a rock?
Yes, sir. Much of my life.
Not the rock, not the rock of pain that you call your life. That's not what I'm talking about.
The rock of pain. Butter scraped over too much bread. Sparks says, surviving, I wish it was already Friday. You got one more day, Sparks.
You're almost there. Stay on target. That's a nerd reference.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
So
What's
that
from?
sounded like an ad for Target right there when you sang.
Stay on target. Yeah.
Dude, that would be a great Target ad, by the way.
Pay us, Target.
Sued by Disney. Sued by Disney. Stay on target.
That's a great segue into our sponsor segment today.
We're sponsored by Lucasfilm.
We are not.
Oh, we're not?
Nope.
Really?
We are sponsored by ourselves.
We painted all that Star Wars stuff yesterday.
Monument Hobbies is proudly sponsored by Monument Hobbies.
That would be a good like little commercial break to add into the stream.
This episode is brought to you by Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies.
Sponsored by Monument Hobbies.
Because we love to love you, chat. That's at least what the teleprompter says.
We don't have one of those, Chris.
Oh, we've got one.
Oh, we don't.
It's constantly going in front of me right now. Bing,
That's
bing, 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 bing,
the drugs.
Oh, no! You're telling me there's no teleprompter?
There is no teleprompter,
Wow.
Chris.
So
All
you're
these
telling me
years.
That green pill I put up my butt wasn't for the good?
Wow.
All right, everybody calm down. This is a painting stream. We're back. That was inappropriate and trollish.
Wow.
Black Wolf, 83 months. Woo! That's a long time. That is a long time.
Black Wolf is like, what did I just walk into?
You walked into a good time.
You just got green pilled.
Sorcerers. What if that was the Matrix twist? You could take this red one, this blue one,
Or the green one. But the green one must be taken. Oh, these two are oral.
Wait a second, but where's the green one go, Pa? Well, little Timmy, let me show you the ways of the green pill. Oh, no! I don't know if I like this. But you're going to do as I say. Not as I do.
I'm tapping out.
I'm sorry.
I'm tapping out.
Too much.
Somebody fed this man at lunch.
I did get a little bit of lunch today. Is that wild? Oh, apologies accepted.
Morpheus.
Don't take the green pill. That's all. That's the moral of the story. Oh, here for a long time, chat. Jason's gonna get really quiet here next week.
Oh, thank God.
Well, not with me and you.
Oh,
But
you'll still be here.
will the voices finally stop? No, sir. No.
Yeah, D-Fresh, I need an adult.
D-Fresh. We're fresh out of those.
I have to take a laugh break.
Chris is giving very play the violin Johnny vibes.
It was all the
Why the green pill, Pa?
yeah.
I don't need it. Little Timmy, let me show you the ways. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay.
Oh, what's a suppository?
Oh, I'm seeing visions. Oh, man. This is not medical information for all of you. I'm sorry. Jason is trying to paint today. He's painting. Why is it always Timmy? I don't know. It's the first thing that comes to my mind.
It's the only thing he can say in that voice, probably.
Wow. Little Timmy. Little Timmy's been through some crap.
I think little Timmy, if you look at the world and you go find these things, little Timmy has been through some crap, because I think that's a name everybody uses.
Little Timmy. Oh, man. What you should be doing right now is painting and quitting your jobs to paint. Don't take that legal advice.
Wow, Chris.
Quit your lives.
I need you to dial it back just a bit,
I'm
because
sorry,
people
you're right.
need jobs.
No. Gandalf, no. They need paint.
Please don't quit your job.
Don't do that. That was a test
for all of you. Hopefully you passed.
Please don't quit your
Stay
job.
employed. Because little Timmy gets stuck in a well too often, says Black Wolf. No, keep your jobs. Paint when you can. Don't have any unpaid bills. You'll enjoy your hobby more. That's what I do. There's nothing like painting in a clean house with a clean hobby room with... Yeah, that's it. Nothing like it. I painted last night.
What'd you paint?
I painted one of the knights.
Which one? You working on Sir
Bedivere,
Yeah.
the Wise.
He's the one with the face mask that always
yeah.
falls down.
Yep. How do you know if she's a witch? Yes, that's the one.
He turned me into a newt.
Don't quit your jobs. I'm saying that for legal purposes.
Unless...
You know what? Do what you want, world. Well, don't do what you want. Do what you're told. And paint more.
Evil.
Evil.
Yes, this is the year of evil for Chris. So
Papa Chicken says, for the past 5 years, I've decided to start jogging as my New Year's resolution. For the past 5 years, I failed. So this year, I'm going to do it all over again. It's a running joke. Thanks, Papa Chicken. 1 second.
Chat. I want to make it very clear that the views expressed by Chris
Yes, sir.
do not necessarily reflect those expressed by the studio.
And by Monument Hobbies. That's a good, thank you for that. That was a good disclaimer.
Keep your jobs.
Keep your jobs.
Keep your families.
Get rid of your family. No, don't do that. That was the demon speaking. Rocco says, too late. I already quit my job the moment you said it. Too late.
Like, I only do what Monument tells me to do.
Good. Good.
This is how we get our employees. Is all the people that listen to us say quit their jobs, they quit, and they're like, what do I do now? It's like, come.
Yes. And then Xenopan's like, and keep your pants on. Okay.
Hey, whoa,
Hey, whoa. Hey, ho there.
Let's not get crazy.
All right. Lumberjack says, I watched Life of Brian the other night for the first time.
It's a tough watch, but it's got some real golden moments.
Yeah.
Not their best work, but it's good.
Swifter Bear says, but I just quit. Can I get legal compensation for pain and suffering? No. But I have this green pill.
We can recommend a bunch of lawyers off of billboards here in Arizona.
Can we start? Yeah, I guess that's true. We have many. Just go around.
I think we have the largest per capita ambulance chasers in the nation.
I guess that's... What? What'd you say?
Ambulance chasers. We have the largest per capita amount of ambulance chasing attorneys in the nation.
Oh, yes.
Every 500 yards in Phoenix is a new billboard.
Yes,
for
so many.
Injured? Is it in a wreck? Need a check? That's the big one.
In a wreck? Need a check? Great segue into our sponsor.
Oh,
we're going to get one. We're going to get them.
Oops.
Great job, Jason.
The husband and wife law team, who now is no longer sponsoring us
they make
because
fun
we
content.
call them ambulance chasers.
They make fun content. Let's get them.
Nevada may have us beat. Yeah, probably. Yours is Call Sam. Oh, I mean, which of the 50 million do you want?
We do have a lot.
Literally, and they all do TV commercials. You get pelted with them constantly here in Phoenix. Phoenix, it's horrible.
Based on all the YouTube and Twitch videos I've watched,
don't let me take over because I would stop pharmaceutical and attorneys from being able to advertise.
Jason,
if cigarette companies can't advertise, then you sure as hell shouldn't let these other people advertise.
That's a good point.
Probably including alcohol, but then I'd get killed.
But what about this green pill? I'm telling you, green pill's on the way.
I think you should only ever be able to advertise miniature painting.
Jason for president. There it is. That's his campaign, and he won. By gosh, by golly, he did it.
I'd be snuffed out.
You can run for the mayor of Phoenix.
I'd be snuffed out by Big Law.
Big Law.
Big Law and Big Drug.
Ark says, no advertising during news.
Yeah, that used to be a thing, right?
Yep.
Like that used to be the only way that you could get subsidized on television. The Digital TV Act killed all that. They hid it behind how great it would be to have HD TV.
HD TV.
and they made it to where the news could have commercials.
D-Fresh, sad I couldn't get to Monument Hobbies HQ while I was in Phoenix. Oh, that's okay. We're here. Pretty soon it's just me and Jason. In our
Next week.
Yeah, man.
Tomorrow's the last day.
The big day, Jason.
Tomorrow is the last day we have a crew here at HQ.
Yep.
Which means one of you needs to buy this building so that we can move into a new building with our experience center. That's my ask. So one of you needs to win the lotto and then buy this building. Why you'd buy? I don't know why you'd buy this building. You buy this building. You should buy this building.
Jason's gonna come up to my way now.
Chat.
Yeah.
You know how you know Chris is lying?
We'll go wrangle up some calves up there.
I told everybody in the office today that that's what you do on the weekends, and they all believe me. Even your cousin was like, "Really?"
No.
I was like, 100%.
Oh, Ballistic Bailey. Hey, thank you so much for that sub. I don't do these things.
100%. He hangs out. There's a barbecue joint up in his neck of the woods.
Yep.
That has a plastic calf that he practices with while he dances to country music.
Oh, I'll get you, chat. I'll get you.
That's Chris in a nutshell. That's Chris's weekend.
Yeehaw! Any old paint racks lying around that you may want to offload? Paint racks? No. We're still going to be in here, though, for a while.
Yep.
I plan on moving in. Jason doesn't know this yet, but...
We'd never know.
I plan on moving in.
We'd never know.
You'd know.
Oh, we'd never know.
You're not allowed to come through that side of the building anymore. I've changed the locks. Just the front gate. Just this front gate.
Okay.
Okay. You heard the man.
Okay. All right.
You just hear in the back, ding, 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 ding. I'm making the center, Jason.
You're making what?
I'm making the center. Whatever that means to you.
What?
Does
anybody have any idea what this man is talking about?
It's the what that I like. It's like Jason's like, so like, what is this man trying to say to me?
I hear words.
I hear them. I hear
they make
Chris.
zero sense.
I do make some kind of sense if you really dive deep.
No. Not even in the least.
Oh, speaking of green pills.
Don't take them, chat. What? What'd you do?
There it is. Green pills. Welcome in, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Hey, chat, if you've noticed.
They have noticed.
No, I don't want
you
to
ate lunch, and they've noticed.
No, you're right, Jason. I apologize. I let this one become a little bit 80-20 today. And I apologize to you profusely. Ballistic Bailey. Well. If it isn't my old nemesis time. Have we had a giveaway this week? No.
He's doing that thing. Like lately he's hung up on Friday, Monday. Like you could literally place a bet about it being on a Friday and you'd probably be right.
No, that's not true.
It was Friday and then Monday, and now it's Friday again.
Well, Jason.
You've made people wait nearly 2 weeks for a giveaway, and then you had them back to back, and now they've waited 2 weeks. That's what's happened.
That's true.
I don't know how else to tell it.
Chat. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
First of all, hey, today is Thursday. That is correct. Yes, so tomorrow, if you guys do the math, that's what happens. See, I have to keep you on your toes. You know?
He messages me and he goes, "We're going to do the giveaway on Friday." And I was like, "All right."
Jason just works here. I run this ship.
He runs the show.
We have been so excited about what's going on here. Chat, today's my second year of working at Monument Hobbies. Can you believe that?
It was supposed to be his anniversary lunch, but he ditched me.
Yes, I ditched you. I did. We're having that tomorrow, Jason.
If I decided tomorrow.
You said, yeah, you responded to me this morning. Like, yep.
Yep.
That's right.
We have a bone to pick.
We have a bone to pick. Has it been the 2 longest years of Jason's life, Papa Chicken?
Yes. Second only to that one time.
Wad says, the giveaway day doesn't matter to me because I'm here whether you want me to be or not.
Wad, we always want you
Wad.
here.
And Wad, yes, you're our friend. Stay cool. You like those big fingers? Those are my cool fingers. Commando Ken says, going hog wild with this Army Man challenge. Any suggestions for gunmetal gray non-metallic workup?
I mean, I love Payne's Gray.
And white blue?
And white blue. It depends on how much blue you want. You know, you could do Payne's Gray with bright neutral gray if you want it to be more of a gray. But either way, I think that's your best bet. It just works too well.
House Sky.
It's
Hello
too
from
easy.
Poland. Nice. Welcome in. It's too easy. You heard the man. And if you want to go see that example, last week Jason painted that up last week. Ballistic Bailey. Chris, did you move to work at Monument or did you already live in the area? I moved from faraway lands.
He drives in from like what is I have to say is a beatdown drive. Because he lives out in an area of Phoenix that doesn't really have like human support.
It's not that rural.
He's like
that rural.
It's like he raises cows.
It's really not that at all.
It really is that. It's bad, chat. It's bad.
It's really not. Oh. No, Ballistic Bailey, I have lived in Arizona the last 7 years now. But I grew up in Arizona.
You grew up here and then you left.
Yeah, I grew up
and then
I
came
left.
back.
I was not born in Arizona.
Where were you born?
California. And then my family moved here.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yep. And then I went back, and then I came back. And now I'm here at Monument Hobbies. Talking with a guy named Jason who paints minis in front of 200 to 300 plus people every day.
So when you went to California and said
Yes.
you were going to be a star and you were going to, because he
gonna
went
be
to
a star.
California and did like if you've seen that movie, Boogie Nights,
Oh my gosh.
Boogie Nights is based on Chris's time in California.
Oh my gosh. And it doesn't help that I moved to Chatsworth.
See? Told you.
It's not-
Told you.
These rumors will not start.
And
Oh man. Yikes.
but when you did all that, did you ever think that where you would wind up after all of that grueling experience,
Yeah.
that you'd be sitting here on the painting miniatures
In
channel?
some weird way, the cosmic beings have aligned it to no, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Entertaining the people, bugging the crap out of somebody. This is all been doing this since day one.
Day one. This is nothing new.
Entertaining the people, and that's pretty much it. And some of you, you're right. You're like, well, Christopher, isn't it supposed to be 90% business and 10% fun? Is today a little off track? I don't know. You tell me. You guys will tell me that. I apologize. We're having a great time. Shady says, paid to annoy Jason, not an age.
I am paid. Yes. I don't think I annoy Jason. I don't think I annoy Jason. Making sure we're all on the same page. Al is fine. Christopher is 100% business 100% of the time. Hey, Al. That's correct. Those are astute words.
100% business all the time?
That's right.
What are you smoking?
Me?
The person that said that.
That's Al. He works here.
We know what she's smoking. She told us during lunch.
She's taking green pills.
The green pills.
I'm taking green pills. Are you surprised? Al said, yes, it is basic business. That is correct. Yes. That's how I'm going to retire, chat. Wad, what do you mean? What about the 90-10 rule? I've told you that so many times, Wad. Come on. God. No. I can't wait to frolic in this building when no one's here and I'm all by myself without Jason for the first 20 minutes until he arrives. It's going to be fun, Jason. Woo-hoo! I'm like running around. It's going to be great.
The first time I come in here and he's like butt-ass naked.
Well, well, well. Welcome to Monument Hobbies. May I take your order? Yikes. I'm sorry.
He's not.
I had a little bit of lunch, which I don't typically do. I needed to get out. I needed to get away from my computer for just a minute. Gabe forces me to do these things, by the way. I don't do these out of my own free will.
More lies.
I've been giving Gabe a lot of stuff he needs today. We've been getting some stuff done. A lot going on, chat. We're getting it done. I suspect Chris would make a great online yoga instructor. He's got the right vibe. Thank you, Papa Chicken. Now let me show you
Downward dog.
Downward cat. My new one I just came up with, chat.
Is there downward cat?
We'll make it up. That's why I'm a really good yoga instructor.
There is now.
You get new stuff when you come to me. Let me show you the upside down turtle. In that life, it means death for the turtle. We don't want that. We don't want an upside down turtle. Hey, if you are witnessing this right now, we are painting non-metallic gold. And by we, I mean Jason. Jason, what color are you using right now?
I'm using pale yellow.
You like how I got that back on track that quick?
I'm using pale yellow.
Okay. Can you remind us what this gold workup is?
No.
For the people in the back?
No.
He will. Give him a second. He'll get back on track.
Nope.
So if I was to paint gold,
I do not divulge my secrets.
Jason, if I was to paint... Oh, look, somebody from chat is asking, Jason, how did you do this workup?
Why do I not believe you, Chris?
No, they actually did say that. At some point in time and space. Let's see if I can remember. Oh, I can't. That was a bad thing I just said.
Where did it start, Chris? What did I start with?
All right. Let me think about this.
Where are my base coats?
Well, dark purple.
Nope.
No, you used orange red.
Nope.
Red orange?
Nope.
Sweet Mary. I'm trying to remember now, Jason. No.
Oh, I did leave the red orange out of the mix when I told somebody.
You did.
I did leave the red orange out.
Okay, I wasn't going crazy.
No, but it started with royal purple.
Royal purple.
Royal purple, bright jade, Payne's gray wash, magenta wash, dark hot pink, red orange, bismuth yellow, pale yellow.
Bismuth yellow.
Now the first colors on that were for the whole model coloring. So the royal purple, bright jade, Payne's gray wash were for the whole top part of the model. I wanted all of those colors to define the shadow and highlight for the whole top part of the model. And then the gold really started from that series of base coats, if you want to call it that, with the magenta wash. I didn't do the magenta wash on the rest of the model, just on the gold areas. He's coming along pretty good.
And I'm really liking how you did these guys. Doomsday Sprocket. Today's diversion in the conversation I needed to tune in after the day of work. First laugh of the day. Hey, Doomsday Sprocket.
So Chris really busted me up with the green pill thing. I have to admit that one got me. That one nearly tore me apart. That was a good one. It was the Christmas voice. Jimmy
little Timmy.
Jimmy Stewart.
Paw.
Your Jimmy Stewart voice. It got me.
Now let me tell you, green pill goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I'd never been born. I know what to do. Bridget says, I know what it did not start with. And that was a half prime model because Jason primed it. Yes. Jason, yes. You know what? Frigid Phoenix, chat. Keep
Hold him accountable.
Yeah, I need accountability, man. I'm going to produce one green pill for Adepticon, I think. Just for you, Wad.
Oh, good God.
I'll give you a green pill.
No.
Wad will take the green pill.
No. We're not we're not getting kicked out of Adepticon.
Hey, Wad, you want this green pill?
Not happening.
You have to pay me in cold, hard cash and only take nickels. Oh, and then I looked over at that model. You got that big Archangel model.
Yep.
The face is cool on that.
It's awesome, isn't it? It's
dope.
got that Illuminati.
Yes. It's super cool.
It doesn't have a face. It has an empty void with an Illuminati pyramid hanging
really
in
cool.
it. It's really cool how they pulled that off.
Yeah, if you guys are, the model I'm talking about is from Conquest. It's the Archangel, and it's got two different variations, but this head is just open, and then there's like this little itty bitty pyramid, Illuminati pyramid in there with the eye. It's awesome. So there you go. How many nickels for the green pill, says Flapjack? Many. Many. It's Adepticon. KBA it is a large hobby convention.
It's a miniature wargaming convention.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot of hobbies there. We're going to be there in a big way this year. We are holding the Miniatures as Art celebration. And if you are coming to Adepticon, bring those models in. We're accepting 300 submissions.
300.
And all of the details. Great segue, Christopher. Well, thank you, Christopher.
Are you talking to yourself in the third person?
Yes.
It's very scary.
Yes.
It's very scary.
Let me bring this.
I like these details on his back.
This is the convention information right here.
Yeah, you don't have much time left. If you are getting geared up for Adepticon, if you know about the show, then hopefully, we've been getting a lot of people contacting us. We have at least a ton of people that are bringing stuff for the first ever Minis as Art Challenge. We're doing the teaser challenge this year with the main event next year.
Yep, it'll be fun.
Which gives you a 12-month period to get prepped for the big cash prizes and fun on 2027 Adepticon. But this year also has a lot of fun going on. A lot of fun prizes to be had. Judges awards, lots of fun categories. We're not doing formal categories this year. It's all based on, judges' picks and things like that. But we got a really good staff of judges, friends of the industry that are coming in to work with us this year. And will stick around with us next year, hopefully. And it's going to be a ton of fun. Lots of live demos. Lots of ability to sit down with artists to get feedback on your models. So you can bring your models or pictures of your models and sit down with a judge. And ask them questions on, hey, if I were to bring this to a competition, how would it fare? What do I need to work on? That kind of stuff, which is really valuable. Stuff you don't get out in the real world very often.
Yeah, and KB, we don't put on Adepticon. The Adepticon team does. It's a very large show. We just participate. We go as an attendee. Big Daddy says, I have a piece ready for this one. Very excited to show it. Nice.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the the only open competition at Adepticon, meaning that you don't have any restrictions on products you can use. It doesn't have to be painted with Prochrome paint. It doesn't have to be any kind of particular model. As a full open, and it will also be governed by a very good rubric for 2027 when we do the actual contest. The rubric will help guide you as to what you need to do in order to be up for subjective judging. So it's going to be a very good way to kind of align yourself to just paint against your own capabilities and not worry about the field, because if you hit the rubric, you will get a consideration award if you hit the rubric. And then beyond that, it'll be up to the judges to see if you get one of the subjective awards, which will be a first, second, and third place for each category. There's 3 leagues that we're running. So rather than calling it amateur and journeyman and all that kind of stuff, it will literally just be 3 leagues. So we will have a not a beginners, but we'll have a entry level league. And then a mid-tier league, and then a top-tier league. And as you progress, you'll be able to move league to league. You'll be able to have things in multiple leagues. And each league has a Champion Cup winner. So it's not going to be... I've always thought it was kind of a feels bad if you enter in at a lower tier, that the pricing just isn't there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I mean, I haven't been painting for my whole life, but I'm just not up for anything cool. Well, now you can be, because there will be cups for each league. Even the beginner league has a Champions Cup, and that allows people to don't ever really plan to become, like top level pro, painters. Who cares?
Yep.
You can exist in that lower league, and vie for the championship there as you get better and better and learn more painting skill and become more confident. So we're really excited about launching it out to the world.
And Mo, yes, there is a size limitation. What I've got that. If you look at that page, it has it on there.
There's this year, all the details are on the link that Chris sent you. There is a size limitation this year. That will be changing. That's just because there's no categories and we want as many people as can come. So this year is just single figure, no dioramas, no groups of models, no squads. It's individual figures only.
Avian says, is there an oh my god, you finished the model award?
That would be me winning that one all the time. So no.
Oh, Greens Monkey says, are you doing anything for Nova?
We have been contacted by Nova, and we'll see what they're doing this year. There's been a lot of turmoil at Nova, and so we had a call with them last week, as a matter of fact, and we'd love to support them if they've got a good plan. So more news coming on that one.
Big Daddy says that includes busts, right?
Yes, you can enter busts. They're single figure. And I think we limited the height to 160 millimeters.
It says 160 millimeters in height are welcome, not including the base or frame, with the base no larger than 120 millimeters in diameter.
Yeah.
Which is a
good size model.
It's a great size model.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you could bring knights.
Yeah.
Vehicles, big dreadnoughts, all sorts of stuff. So it gives you a good size to work with. We just don't have the categories for everything else because we didn't have enough time this year to launch out a full-fledged competition the way we wanted to, just because we didn't want to leave people with, no ability to put their full effort into it due to it being rushed.
Right.
But this will be an annualized thing for as long as they'll have us at Adepticon. We're really excited about it. Lots of people very excited.
Is there a release date for the special sauce on the website?
No. You mean like when will it be available on the website? No, we don't have that yet.
We'll let you know very soon.
Yes.
If you were here. If you watched yesterday, announcements are coming very, very soon. So.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Mo is asking, what's wrong with Nova? ?
They ran into some social issues. Nothing from our end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing from our end.
There's
no.
just been some backlash and some things they're getting right at their end, and we're just kind of, we're good partners with them. We love what they do. We just need to see what they do to get their act together and
Yep.
how they're treating it, and make sure that we don't get caught up in a crap storm of nonsense that had nothing to do with us.
White says, now I want a Pro Krill Hot Ones collab. That'd be fun to have Jason on there. Jason, are you a big hot foods guy?
Yeah.
Like hot, like spicy?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it to where the spice is all there is. I'm a food for sustenance and flavor guy, and heat, when it gets to where it's abusive, is no fun. They do it on purpose to make it no fun because it's the discussion point, right? It drives the show. So that part I get. But yeah, for me, it's more of a I like pleasurable spice. I'm a habanero guy. So habanero is probably my favorite pepper in terms of pepper type spice. Really like habanero, jalapeno, tasty peppers.
Lumberjack says, I sent you guys some sauce the other year. I didn't get any sauce from you, Lumberjack.
He did. He sent it to us.
No, he sent it to you. I didn't get any sauce.
It was great.
I'm sure it was.
Nice. Oh, geez.
I'm sure it was. You like that? Sometimes I have tone.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like those sauces like they have on there at the high end of their sauces, because that's just literally for people that don't like their taste buds much.
Yeah, it's for hot ones to get you the hottest. What is it called? Capsaicin?
Well, yeah, it's like, I get it, right? I get that there's bragging rights to look at how hot I can go, but it's like that doesn't have flavor anymore. Those typically don't have a lot of flavor. At least not flavor that I enjoy.
But do you guys do anything with the IPMS guys? I don't know what that
International Plastic Modeling Society. We sponsor them at some of their events. They do an event here that we have sponsored in the past. So yeah, I really like what they do. I come from that world of scale model building, and so I love going. Jen and I go we've been once to the one here in Phoenix.
Interesting.
They move around, so it's not. I don't think that they have it in the same place all the time.
It wasn't a familiar name for me.
International Plastic Modelers Society. Definitely more geared towards scale model, historical scale model, but also some really cool, like, Gundam will be there. There's more fantasy figures every year that I see it. It is I'll say it's an unfortunate truism, but that world of historic modeling is giving way to, fantasy and science fiction and such quicker than ever before.
Yeah.
Because you just have an entire generation or multiple generations of modelers that are dying off and they're not being replaced. That world is very slow to replace itself. It doesn't gain as much traction with younger groups ever since the rise of video games is when you could first see scale modeling take a big hit. The amount of parents sitting down and building a ship or a big bomber model or a cool car model, probably went down drastically. And now there's fewer and fewer people joining in on that. I hope to see a revival. It would be a real shame to see historical models and stuff go away.
Yeah.
Trains, cars, stuff that I don't really care so much for. I was never a big plane, train, and automobile guy. I was always tanks and military. But it doesn't make them any less cool to go look at. I really like looking at them. I just don't like building them. I got a couple of motorcycle models over the year from Tamiya. They made some really good motorcycle models. But those models tend to be a world where it's all in the detail.
Yeah.
It's all in the complexity of the model as to how cool and realistic the car and or bike gets pulled off.
Yep.
And you lose me at that because I'm just not as into the build anymore. So in my older years, I don't want to have to spend that much time putting together the engine of a car that is like painting the inside of the model and then closing the doors. Right, because you have moving cylinders in the model or something. all the spark plug wires and stuff that I'm like, I don't care. I just don't care anymore.
Brent, that was a great movie too. That's not a pillow. With John Candy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to like model trains. I still have one. I have the size, the scale I have. It's the smaller scale.
Some of the most fun I had as a younger kid building models was I built all of the, I think it was Monogram or Revell, or maybe it was a combination of the two. They had all of the Midway U.S. Carrier Group models.
Oh,
so I built the Hornet and the Yorktown.
Yeah.
These aircraft carriers that all got blowed up, but that survived Pearl Harbor because they were out. Like the aircraft carrier groups weren't at Pearl Harbor when it got bombed. And so that's how we won the war in the Pacific, was by having aircraft carriers. Mm-hmm. And so I built all of those. I think the Lexington was lost at the Battle of the Coral Sea. Yeah, Lexington. Built the Lexington, the Yorktown, Hornet, all that stuff. So those were fun models. Those were really the only boat models that I ever got into.
Yeah.
But they were fun. It was not enough to keep me going in that realm of modeling. But like you see the IPMS taking good strides to bring in like fantasy model. So they'll have like a fantasy model category in their judging. And they still have a lot of really, really good modelers there of all ages that are doing really cool things in diorama building. So if you ever see in your area an IPMS event, I always suggest going because they promote themselves very well. They have good attendance. They've got a really good group of people supporting it.
Yeah, I should look that up.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great event.
Ballman says, Jason, do I qualify as an elderly person if I ended up pulling something in my back while sleeping?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes, I think so. And that sucks, by the way.
Yeah, yikes. I know back pain too well, unfortunately.
Like I said at the beginning of this model, I really don't have a particularly dramatic light source for this guy, so I'm attacking every piece with the non-metallic just as light from above, right? Really simple, and you can see that you can still have a good effect, but when painting, more gaming style miniatures, not for display, this kind of thing will help speed it up a little bit for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend too much time wanting dramatic lighting, I'm just treating every area. Like this one, I left a shadow here from the arm. Right, so you see how the gold that comes around the waist, the arm would cast a shadow down, so I left this darkness in the gold there, and the only thing that I did was a little bit of shine that might be reflection from the gold that's up here on his arm. You can imagine. And then I'm just basically doing bright side, dark side on everything. Doesn't matter. I've chosen, this side again. I typically, if the model's looking over here, I choose over here. So I'm highlighting to the right and up. You have to pick that, right? You can't just do top because not everything has a top as it is 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So pick left or right and towards up. And you get a pretty good look that way. And you can see that mostly here on that dial. You can see the angle I've chosen. And then you just kind of follow that angle around. You can see that angle, that same angle, like on these wheels down here. And then on the back, it rotates around, right? So instead of that way, it's this way. And you can see that same angle like on these circular objects down here and, of course, on all this stuff. So just keeping a general highlight angle will suffice on most models. The big thing you want to do is that wherever the eye can take in all these details, make sure you're not over-highlighting the wrong side of anything that's in the same frame, right? A lot of people, when they turn the model around, they're so used to highlighting, because this side of the model where you spend all the focus time on, you highlighted everything to the right. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times you'll turn the model around and keep highlighting everything to the right. But on the back, it's wrong. It's reversed. Mm-hmm. But on the back, you can't see the front, so don't even sweat it. If you start doing that, just keep doing that. Just make sure that everything on the back highlights to the right if that's the case. Now, that might get tough because this joins with the front on his head, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be highlighted one way and then another way. But again, you can't see it from this angle.
Yeah.
So as long as each area that you can look at the model and take the whole model in is identical in its movement of light, you can get away with it. Somebody's going to dock you points in a contest if I can turn the model around and say, yeah, your lighting doesn't come from the same direction on the back as it does in the front. But overall, you don't have to sweat it too bad.
Dial, this is a great follow-up question. Wouldn't the flame under him cast light?
Yeah, and it will. This all will be uplit.
I thought it was smoke for a second, but maybe
it could be smoke or flame.
Yeah.
It's kind of done in a way where it has a little bit of peaking to it. So you think of it as, it looks like whipped cream.
Yeah.
To me. But yeah, all I have is it painted white right now. It'll be, I haven't determined the final flame color. It could either be like an icy blue if I wanted to do it, or it could be like a witchfire green that would have like some bluish green, seafoam green colors in it. I just need to make sure it doesn't move into this color too much. Bright yellow green or something like that could be fun. Some of these guys have got flame on their swords and stuff too. And there's a lot of models in this army that have fire on them.
Fire!
But then there are also wind dancers. And so I've just am not paying attention to this yet because the wind, this whole army is based off of the elements. And so right now it's wind and fire.
Oh, that's cool.
And there might be water ones too. But they all have this effect, like the Ifrit and the Jinn. They all have these things coming out of the bottom of them. And some of them look like water, and some of them look like fire, and some of them look like smoke. And I need to find a general way to do all of that. So I'll probably build a couple of the ones that look like I don't have any water ones. That's not in my army. But the air ones and these. And come up with something that looks good on both of them. And then do that. Because I'm not going to make them different. I don't care that these guys are supposed to be fire. And the other guys are supposed to be, I don't care. They're just all going to be in the same army. So they're all going to look the same to me, I think. Is the way I have it thought about.
Jason.
What?
Are you going late today?
Yeah, I might paint a little bit longer.
Okay.
I want to, or do I have to? I'm almost good to stop. Actually, I'm at a good stopping point. What do you think, Chet?
Oh, well, you know what they'll say. Stop immediately. Shut it down.
We're done with you,
Quit
old man.
while you're ahead.
We're done with you, old man. Sick of you not paying attention.
I'm sick of you. Lumberjack says, shut it down. Wow. Lumberjack, save the late stream energy for Friday.
Ooh, we should. Yeah, let's call it quits, and then what I'll do is tomorrow night, I don't think we have anything going on, and I might burn it down tomorrow night. Let me figure something out for tomorrow.
Burn it down.
Might do something, do the giveaway, close up the stream, and then do some late night cool stuff. I got a bunch of models here that I really want to start that damn one Phil built. That giant.
Yeah, I would say we should.
The giant's
do that
rad.
That one's pretty cool. It's heavy though.
It's not that bad.
No, I just was surprised on how heavy that shield is. It's good.
Yeah, it's not that bad though.
It's a chunky boy.
I went over there to make sure it wasn't going to give me like fits if I'm holding it, painting it. It's not bad. It's not that shabby.
Flapjack says, whatever you do, monkey, don't even think about dancing. We won't dance.
Oh, I'll dance.
Oh, he'll dance.
Oh, wait. No, I didn't say that, Chris.
Now he'll sing.
I will not sing.
You'll sing. I would fully be here tomorrow night. I got a pack and would welcome the company, says Awkwardish. We'll be around tomorrow.
What are you packing for?
Flapjack says, I'm going to be trying OSL for the first time on my next model, so I am so also excited to see what you do with the fire. Flapjack, I can't wait to see what you bring for the cases for Adepticon.
Awesome. And yeah, like the question, I never really got back to the question, but yes, there will be uplighting on these if I choose to do a glowy effect.
Yeah.
If I don't, if I choose to treat them like more smoke and hide the color of the flame underneath the smoke on all of them, then there would still be a little bit, but it won't be overdone. One of the things you have to be careful of with gaming miniatures is overdoing it. If you go in with massive effects on them, then it causes you a situation where you have to spend so much time getting the effect right on all the models, or it's not worth doing it on any of them in many cases. That's not always the case. If it's a character model, then you can say, oh, but, this is the leader, you're doing Angron, or you got Magnus, and you're doing the big Magnus model, and you really want to just make sure Magnus looks like a champ.
Yeah.
Great. You can do that. But in a lot of cases, you have to be careful with troops not overdoing it. And so if you can hide what would be a good excuse sometimes to do a really cool, this is going to be a weird one because this is right at the pinch of the shoulders. And so this is going to highlight on the wrong side. Because the pinch of the shoulders causes a cleft in the middle of the back, right? And that cleft starts here. So it's actually going to bow. This is concave, you can see. And so it's brighter on this side because this hits the light and this winds up being dark, whereas the ones surrounding it are not concave. They're convex. They actually bow around the other direction and bring the highlight more towards the edge you would assume it's supposed to be at up here. And like this one here.
Awkward, send all the love. Awkward says, got some unfortunate news. I found out my fave uncle passed away. Got to drive down for Arkansas. Hey.
Awkward is very sorry. That sucks to hear.
Yeah.
I hate it.
No, not a downer. We get it, Awkwardish. You're all good.
That's what we're here for. This is not a place to pretend like bad stuff doesn't happen to you. This is a place where you can hope to hang out with people that'll make it not feel so bad.
Mm-hmm. Awkwardish says, sorry to be a downer. No worries.
You're not a downer at all.
While I'm down there, I do get to spend time working on my plan. AZ trip. Nice. You're going to love it, Awkwardish. Right now, it's in a beautiful season for us. We're loving it.
It really has been. As much as I wish we had a more winter weather, right? Yep. I'm not mad at the fact that this weather has been fantastic. You can't deny that this is the reason why we live here is these last few days.
Yes. High of 62. Beautiful and sunny. A little bit of rain. I got some rain last night. Got a lot of rain.
We did too, yeah.
Yes, condolences to you, Awkwardish. We'll be here tomorrow. Come spend time with us.
All right, non-metallic metal.
Gold!
And look at us, I think. I still have a couple of things I probably need to touch up, but I think I got most of it done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Are you going to do the swords any different?
The swords, the blades themselves, I'm waiting to find out what I do with the flame underneath before I really do. I mean, I could do them in just steel and then put reflection on them, so we may do that. But they're just going to be steel, you know, shiny metal.
That'll be fun.
I like the idea of these guys being a little shinier and being able to catch some of the reflection of the world around them in it. You know, that's why, like, again, the royal purple and the magenta and everything on the golds kind of handles that for me.
Yeah.
Pop in real close. Mm-hmm. You can see that, you know, I told you that we were being very, can you go closer? Yeah. You know, we were being very rough, but then we come in and we kind of define the roughness with the way we put the magentas and the oranges and stuff on. Was not really worried about blending, but you see how doing a tight edge on it with the bright yellow, right? The pale yellow, then defines all that and gets rid of the rough nature of everything. It really focuses everything back in. It allows us to see that, you know, it becomes a nice hard surface again, even with loose brushstrokes when you're painting gaming style figures. You can still get a good result in the overall spot you're headed to without having to spend all the time to make sure all of your blends are perfect along the way. You know, if you can get good at that, if you can get good at understanding that you control how messy it looks by that ending more so than anything that happens at the beginning, your colors have to be good. And you can't, on a big surface, like on skin, like on these shoulders, you can't be overly messy because that's hard. There's no edge to clean it up. So you do have to be looking at certain shapes. Space Marine shoulder pads, there's no way to clean them up because there's no edge. Right. But there is, because they have the trim. So if you do really good detail on the trim, but you leave the shoulder pad itself messy, it can give a really cool nature to it. So you're always looking at things like that, like being able to paint fast and a little bit loose and sloppy because that speeds your process up. And then your edge highlighting is really where you have to pay attention to making sure you have smooth lines. You can control the thinness. They don't get overly thick. They don't change thickness where they shouldn't. And then that really brings everything back into focus, especially if you do a lot of airbrushing. These are not done that way, but if you do a lot of models that are airbrushed mainly, and then you just want to do edge highlighting to clean them up and don't want to have to do a lot of glazing over your airbrushing, then really that's where that comes together, is make sure that your edge is really detailed and that you have that control to do thick and thin lines as necessary. Works like a champ.
All right.
Lumberjack said, you heard him, get good, scrub. Is that what I said?
I think you did.
Is that what the decoder ring says? Can you imagine? We need to have a monument decoder ring. And it says, hey, now's the time to take out your decoder ring. And every time you look at the decoder ring and you twist it to a number and you look up the number, it always says, just get good.
Get good, scrub. Get good.
Get good. What is the old man meaning? Turn this, if you have your decoder ring out right now, the lesson I just gave, turn to 99 on your decoder ring. It just says get good.
That is funny.
Hopefully you've seen some good stuff here. You can see now more about what I was talking about with regards to not pushing the blue skin too bright, because look at how bright the gold now has darkened all of the other surfaces. Everything else looks a lot flatter because you'd lose whatever highlighting I have done into just becoming base coats on the skin. So now it tells me how bright I can make the skin without overtaking the gold and the greens and all that. So You're seeing it all in action. Put paint on the model. Yeah, that'd be the other one. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Lots of fun. Hopefully you got a lot out of this one. We were just doing the final kind of highlights. We could potentially go brighter with this to bright pale yellow or even something like bright ivory if I determine I want to push the blue skin brighter. At one point in time, I thought I might want the blue skin to be almost like an ice white on these guys. So I might still play with that, but the gold will then have to go a step brighter. And that's why I did it with pale yellow as opposed to bright pale yellow on this go round, right? Pale yellow, when you look at it in the bottle, that's not a real bright color, especially not when you put it up next to white.
Yeah.
Right. So we still have a lot of room to go from our highlight, which is here. That's the brightest color on this model right now is this. We still have a lot of room to go to brighten it up too. So again, that's why I say leave yourself some runway no matter what you're doing on the model, because this is sold as non-metallic metal. It doesn't have to get any brighter, right? We can do this, and this is a good gold. You can stop here. If you're keeping all of your other colors darker, it almost works better to stop here because it doesn't get so blingy bright.
Yeah.
But it does give me the ability to brighten it up even more should I need to if I want to go brighter, which I will. I will go brighter with the blues and the greens and all that. But so thanks for hanging out. Waiting for a restock is killing you. I know. We've got a lot out right now. The holidays always kick our butt. We usually get around to back to good stock quicker than now, though. So we're really working on it, though. So thanks so much. If you haven't hit the follow button or the subscribe button, depending on where you're watching us, either on YouTube or Twitch or Kick, please do. Right? You get alerts, and it really helps us out. This is what we do.
That's right.
We make paint, and we teach you how to paint. That's right. Monument Hobbies. That's all we do. So thanks so much for joining in and supporting that endeavor. We would love for you to buy some of our paint and brushes so that you can experience the joy of painting on your own. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to click the links Chris has put up in chat to especially join the Discord. Yep. I know there's a lot of hassle around Discord right now, but none of it is reaching our group. We don't have any not safe for work stuff, so you don't have to give your Face ID over to them. But join the Discord community. Great group of people over there to get inspired, make friends, tell jokes, have a lot of fun 24 hours a day.
That's right.
It always matches your time zone. There's always somebody up over there willing to talk nonsense and nerd stuff with you. And then monumenthobbies.com and monumenthobbies.eu, as well as our FLGS page for finding a store nearby that you can support local and buy your Monument Hobbies products there. So thanks so much for that. Stick around. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid, so show some love in the channel we wind up in. Enjoy your hobby throughout the evening. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios.
Bye.